Yes.
Recording starting now. So, when last the party had shenanigans, they found a plot skewering within the territory. They fixed it, everyone was all happy and Dorian. But unfortunately, your ninja was out ninja'd. But luckily, he was saved and is now recovering. Now we have the business of identifying some items and figuring out what exactly is going on. After you guys learned a bit more about what's going on with a few places nearby and what may be connecting, I think some of you are starting to put the connections two and two together. So where we leave off now is, last we checked, you guys had the sword, you guys had everything taken care of, and you had killed the mummy.
Yes. I was examining the blade.
Mm-hmm. So, with your little ritual brouhaha, Tyler,
Yep.
you identify the sword.
Okay.
This sword is approximately 2,000 years old. And even though the blade is in piss poor shape, it appears to be a spirit-bound sword.
Okay.
Meaning whoever it is bound to, when they wield it, it will be an effective weapon. What you do know about it is that on the inner sides of the blade, the Tagamahani, I think I said that right.
Mm-hmm.
The Tagamahani itself of the sword is obsidian.
Okay.
The blade is diamond.
Okay.
However, due to its piss poor condition, it does not look like it would be a very effective weapon, and because you are not the one bound to it, it doesn't really seem to do much. You have already asked the kami, they can't really seem to do anything about that either, because they don't tend to deal with Shadowland tainted stuff. What you do know is that it did have some taint on it, although no one seemed to have gotten affected.
Okay. So, working in my sanctified area, I would like to work and commune with spirits of with the kami of purity that are here to cleanse this weapon of its taint.
Okay. How many void do you want to spend?
I will start off by doing a blow through the void. Blow through the void to gather void points. Or no, sorry, drawing the void, not flow through the void. And
You wish to summon Cthulhu?
no, I do not wish to summon Cthulhu. However, I will gather
Excellent.
6 void points to myself and spend them in my communing with the kami here.
Okay. The kami of purity takes your 6 void points, converts it, and purifies the sword of 6 corruption points. The sword now seems to be pure.
Alright. Now, that spellcraft roll is to unbind the blade from anyone who is not from the previous wielder.
Alright. You have found that this will be quite a bit more difficult than you realized. However, the kami do have a solution. They have a ritual you can do. Unfortunately, this ritual will take 3 weeks.
Okay.
However, they think they can do it. You know that whole jade tea thing you're doing?
Yep.
You basically got to soak the sword in a pool like that for 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then, like, every few days, basically come and have the Kami of Purity do mumbo jumbo and spend void points on it each week. And, yeah, that'll do it.
All right. I will begin the process.
Excellent. Easy enough. You also notice one more thing before you put the sword in the ritual.
Okay.
I would like you to take note that there is a symbol on the sword, usually a symbol of craftsmanship. This symbol you do recognize.
Okay.
It is the same symbol that was on the swords you collected from the Naga.
Ah. I see. All right. And with those things in place, Rio will return in the Of course, when the morning comes, he will rejoin the others for the winter court, for the activities of the winter court.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone else have any declarations? So you're all sitting around in a circle going, what the fuck is going on? And no one says a word. Everyone just stares awkwardly at each other.
I'll tell you what I'm doing.
What are you doing, John?
I am sitting in the middle of the courtyard with a perfectly serene expression on my face, practicing on my Ichigenkin.
I'm sorry, John. You take a sniper bullet to the head, and you won't be able to play in any of the other game sessions. I'm sorry.
Damn it! Me and my overpowered character builds.
Actually, so far, everything's actually kind of calmed down. I mean, it's been about, in actual game time, it's been about a week of Winter Court. And so far, you've only had 2 casualties, so not bad. One thing you guys have noticed is with the Winter Court being in full session now, more things have started. Now that the opening festivities are kind of out of the way, now it's gone back to kind of the more socializing aspect of it. However, there are also a lot of duels starting. Not necessarily serious duels, but, you know, just tests of skill. And there are also a lot of people really concerned with the jade mine closing in the central capital, because that was the biggest jade mine in pretty much a couple thousand square miles. And it was a very large production value.
See. So, our crab bat.
What's up, Tyler?
I was just saying we have our crab bat.
Yes, sorry about that. Well, if we've got the information, can we find out how much or how far away that weird light show was a couple of nights ago?
Actually, yes. You find out that it was not over the vast open sea, but definitely far north, kind of out across the water. In the Phoenix Lands, you kind of have to go past that little area, and then you've hit the northern kind of forbidden nomad lands, if you will. And you know it came from there.
And Real will come to, in the morning, sit and offer a cup of tea to Kensashi. In the courtyard.
Kensashi will happily drink this tea.
Wow.
You found quite the interesting item. Real will just sit down and just take a sip of his tea.
The tea is good. Eventually, so many people have now come to your area, Tyler, that it's actually starting to become very noticeable.
Will, can you mute? I'm having a hard time hearing Brandon. Sorry, what did you say?
There's actually so many people coming to your area that's actually become quite obvious now. And actually, there is now already getting ready for, everyone is already getting ready for the Winter Court Tournament. The Winter Court Tournament is a very special and unique event because every single of the clan champions shows up and duels.
Okay.
And this is a grand tournament, so anyone and everyone from the Empire may enter for a chance to take on the champions.
So wait, so I'm holding the main.
Yes,
Winter
you have the Empress's personal representative. This is the Winter Court.
Gotcha.
They also just really... Not only that, you know, the pond with the tree, it looks really badass, so they wanted to do it there. It's like, oh, this guy's got a pond. Fuck yeah.
And as people begin to awake, Real will just stand up. We should speak more later.
Whenever you wish, my friend.
And head off to begin greeting his guests and preparing things. And Real was interested in speaking with the man from the crane that first approached him, the one who had the snake bracelets.
Ah, yes. You find him. He's over by mingling with some other diplomats. He's like, ah, Real. Pleasure to see you again.
Pleasure was mine. And question, is he still wearing his snake bracelets?
Yes. He's wearing his typical getup.
Mm-hmm. The pleasure is mine. You spoke before you wished to speak.
Yes. I actually have a proposal for you.
Yes?
The land I was telling you about. I would like to sell it to you.
Which land was this?
This was the rice paddy area. The rice fields.
The rice field of the Crane lands?
Yeah, the one that Gims walked through and he found the dead guy and the whole thing happened.
Hmm.
And the reason you would know that is because Gims' character specifically did tell you guys that. So
Yeah. I see. And you would part with such valuable lands?
well, with me going into ownership eventually of the, I'm opening up a new store in the main capital, and that will be taking up most of my time. I won't have time to run this land anymore. But because Dodo was a very good friend of mine, I feel that this land should not go to waste.
And the crane approves
Yes.
of it passing hands.
Yep. I had to pay a lot, but they approved.
It is certainly something of interest.
He shows you the contract. Basically, in the end, all the crane asks for is 30% of product.
30% of what's produced from the land.
Yes.
I will certainly take this under. Must speak with others of my clan before I can accept such a proposal.
John.
Yo.
With the new crowd of people coming in, there's a man who walks up to you and sits down cross-legged in front of you.
Okay.
He looks at you and he says, Kensashi,
Do I know you?
I would like to surrender.
Just sit there.
Well, that was fairly easy. Are you going to execute me on the spot or just take me in? How does this work? I'm not very familiar.
Sorry, what did he say?
He said, I surrender.
Who are you?
I'm the Toad.
I surrender. I have no idea who you are.
You are the Toad?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
Do you want to check your coins?
Please go away and stop bothering me.
He kind of, not a flustered look, but almost depressed look, and he says, I'm kind of tired of running. I'd like to just settle this.
Yes, thank you. Please go away now.
Didn't the Emerald Servant send you to catch me?
You are staggeringly well informed for a low-ranking peasant.
He kind of looks at you.
However, the Toad is clearly a great and dangerous warrior. And you... If you wish to be arrested, go and touch the hem of that woman's dress.
That would be quite dishonorable. I'm trying to atone for my actions, not make them worse.
But I know of nothing you have done that I can prove that you have done that you should be arrested for. Do you have proof that you are the Toad? Evidence of your crimes?
He pulls out a mask, a kabuki mask, Very similar to the one the old man gave you at the 100 Stance Dojo, with the
Yeah,
small
I pull mine out,
with the small toad on the top.
and I put my toad mask on and say, I thought everyone had one of these. What does that prove?
And then he takes out a wanted poster with his face on it. Except he's got a slightly different hairstyle.
What does the wanted poster announce him to be?
The toad.
That is clearly a forgery. The Emerald Servant himself stated that we had no idea what you looked like. If there were wanted posters with your likeness on them, we would have known, which means that there aren't any, which means that that is a forgery. Therefore, you still have not proven that you are the toad.
He kind of gets a little bit flustered and he says, well, how do I prove it to you?
What have you got?
Other than my technique, not much.
What is your technique?
I'm invulnerable to harm.
How?
Through an ancient martial arts technique I learned from my master.
Go on.
Well, he looks around. He says, do you have a weapon?
Oh, don't bother with that. Anyone can be invulnerable to a specific weapon on demand for a trick. To convince me that you are not simply claiming a ancient technique from your venerable master, because anyone can claim to have learned an ancient technique from their venerable master. I recently was taught an ancient technique by Boyd itself, an ancient monks who live in a mountain. How can I prove that? No. You must show me how the technique works. When I recognize that this is the ancient technique of the toad and understand it, then I could say, he has proven he is the toad, I can arrest him. But right now, you are simply a man who has approached me at the festivities and said silly things. Perhaps you are drunk. Are you drunk?
No. He stands up, kind of gets himself, ready, kind of shakes his hands out. He kind of looks around. He seems to be looking on the ground for like a spot. And he goes over to a little patch of snow, clears it away, and it's a fairly decent patch. He's not around any, particularly obstacles or obstructions or houses. He kneels down, and then he starts to do a small hand motion, and he breathes in. A basic meditation.
Go back. Let me see that hand motion again.
He kind of brings his hands up, almost as speak, Brandon, as if he is going into a prayer, but then moves his hands up to his temples, seems to apply pressure, and says,
What is the nature of hand motion? Explain.
You want him to explain or me to explain?
No, I want him to explain. I'm interrupting him in the middle
okay.
of the technique.
Oh.
And I'm like, go back. What is this? Why are you doing that? Explain this. I can't very well verify that you are using the ancient venerable technique of the toad that I don't know unless I understand the technique. Explain this.
He explains the technique to you. Here's how the technique works. Using the body's chi flow, sometimes it requires, breathing, or sometimes it can be done with simple, quick focus, but sometimes the easiest way to do it is to apply pressure point to a particular chakram. Once the chakram is applied pressure to, once the chakram is applied pressure to, the chi releases and can engulf the body in a personal protection field, basically giving it immunity to harm. This is a very difficult technique to learn, as most people do not even have a chi flow that great, even Shugensha. Shugensha must, work through the spirits and learn the ways of the spirits in order to project their chi or use their chi in this way.
How did you come to have such a powerful chi flow?
Do you remember the lake that you visited, where you met Aku?
Yes.
That lake has far more significance than you may realize. That lake is one of the oldest been there since the dawn of time. Some say it was one of the first tears of Luna.
Just sitting there listening.
The soul resonance in that area is so great that if you've lived up there as long as I have, your chi can become exponential.
How long did you spend there?
He thinks for a moment, he says, a couple hundred years.
How did you come to live that long?
The flow kept me alive.
Ah, a clever loophole.
He says, would you like me to continue?
Yes, please.
What he does next is actually somewhat impressive. He does his old thing again. He takes his head, gives a little kia, and he headbutts the ground and makes a crater. Crater about 15 feet wide, 15 feet deep. And it shakes.
You have damaged the host's property without permission. Your actions have disrupted the Winter Festival. This is quite dishonorable. You are under arrest.
He nods.
You will wait here for the appropriate magistrate and custodians to come and collect you. And I resume playing Yichigenkin.
He just kneels down and meditates in the crater.
And it is not long before House Guards and Rio shows back up.
And I just calmly inform Rio. This man claims to be the Toad and has demonstrated his ancient technique of invulnerability through chi. He also damaged your property.
Lock him away.
He does not resist at all.
Once the man is removed from our presence, Kitsashi will say to Rio, this is obviously a trap. He is probably here for the sword.
I have somewhere he can be placed where he will not be able to get to it.
He claims to have I did not understand the word, but I got the impression, very large chi flow. I would suggest a imprisonment system that empowers the spirits that protect him by draining from his own life force. Since he claims to wish to restore his honor and atone for his crimes, he should agree willingly.
Your thoughts mirror my own. But I do not know about his chi. This is interesting. Though, I have an idea how I can achieve this. Thank you. And Rio goes off to prepare something to imprison this man. And Brandon, when this man is locked up, you will be shackled and communing with both the earth and kami of earth and void, so that his chi is flowed through from him to the earth, kami of earth to reinforce the chains which bind him. And I will make my roll.
Excellent.
And in looking through with the kami, does this appear to dampen his power?
It does.
Excellent.
And the kami will definitely agree in restraining him. They will not agree to hurt him, though.
That is all right. All I ask of them is to restrain him.
Alright.
As well. Is there any tape about him?
Nope.
Good. Then for the moment, you will be left there.
He will sit quietly.
We'd like to add one other thing to the spell,
Mm-hmm.
and it is that the more ki that he generates, the greater the flow will widen that is
Okay.
used to reinforce his bindings.
Alright. I take it you guys still have the sword in tight security?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Built into the foundation of the building.
In possibly the most secure place I have imaginable.
What?
Alright. And Rio will leave him there for the moment. And post several guards to make sure that he remains.
What in the... Hold on a second. I think someone's like dying outside or something.
Sorry? What about someone dying now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I'm hearing someone yell outside that sounds like they're dying or getting hit by a car, but I don't see anyone.
Oh.
You have a lot of experience with people getting hit by cars?
Nope.
Because I don't think I'd recognize the sound of someone getting hit by a car if I heard it.
Well, I've witnessed someone getting hit by a car. I don't have a lot of experience in it, but I've
They
witnessed
make a distinct noise?
Kind of funkish.
Well, usually when someone gets hit by a car and they're screaming afterwards, that's usually fairly distinctive.
Have you hit a lot of people with cars?
No, I've witnessed a person getting hit with a car and screaming afterwards, though.
That just means they're okay. If you can scream, your lungs are not collapsing right this second.
Right. Plus, this witness bit, does that mean you were in the passenger seat?
No, I was on the side of the road when some poor guy got hit. I had to call
Oh, so
for
you were the
medical.
one who pushed him into the street.
So is this counted as a confession, or are we legal representatives? Can we get Brandon in jail?
I think this does count as a confession.
Die with a lie, never incriminate yourself.
Die with a lie. Interesting way of
Yeah.
viewing the world. Also
Die
explain
with a lie, don't ever incriminate yourself.
Okay, now it sounds like a girl getting raped out there. What the fuck is going on? I can't see anyone.
It's going to turn out to be like a boyfriend and girlfriend who are both stubbing their toe.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh god, you live near the two of my other gaming groups. The boyfriend and girlfriend from my other gaming group constantly are smacking into things.
Huh, sounds like an argument. Jesus Christ, they are loud though. Holy shit. And I just realized something. I didn't put my headphones in, so that first audio bit's gonna sound funny. Oh well.
Well, anyway.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Everyone at this event is gaining social status.
And I have something to do also
Go ahead.
for Aiko. Since there is more talk going around about the whole Jade Mine thing, it's time to sort of put my plan into play. So, that being said...
Okay, no, I know what you're going to do. There are plenty of people at this court that will gladly have sex with you.
No.
I would like to discuss the prisoners' accommodations with Rio.
If you come to speak with Rio, certainly.
I come to speak with Rio.
You will find Rio in one of the main halls, speaking with other representatives and individuals.
John, be careful. If you continue down this path, you will find yourself at the bottom of the stairs.
Damn it!
Rio is at the top of the stairs. You have to walk up them, and they are slippery.
Guys, I think Will was going to do something, and then you kind of ran him over.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for Will's declaration. What were you going to do, Will?
Oh, okay. I am going to write a message for the magistrate to try to see if the capital will grant this or not. But since the Jade Mine is technically on capital territory, I would like to petition for my family,
Okay.
to manage the mine because, well, it's on capital land and it would benefit the capital, and by default, by benefiting the capital, it will benefit all of Rokugan by having Empire man.
You can very easily put in a petition and send it off.
Okay.
That will be no problem. There's actually kind of a bid for it going on right now, actually.
Okay. And another question, the whole contest you were talking about, is that something that Aiko could get in on? Or is it one of those that's like the combat ones?
In all honesty, actually, in something like this, it would be awkward, but it would be perfectly legal.
Okay.
Because even the Empress herself can technically challenge people to Yaijutsu duels.
Oh, is it all Iaijutsus?
No, it's Kenjutsu and Iaijutsu right now.
Okay, because basically it's just a way to help to go about proving her style more. So because I'm kind of going on that path of trying to get it as an accepted school. So if I can match other schools, in her head, if I can match other schools, then that's kind of showing that, hey, this works to more than just herself, so other people can see that it does. But that was all I had for the moment until that comes around.
You have lots of sex.
No.
All right, Joan, what do you want to talk with Rio about?
Please don't have that be a thing, because I have to be near, and I don't want to listen. I guarantee you, if I have to hear it more than once or twice, I'm leaving your ass.
No, that's not really happening.
Well, actually, you have to participate. No.
I will break her in half.
Well, you know what they say about crabs, don't you?
I don't even want to know.
Catch them by having sex with Aiko?
The crab.
No.
The crab now has crabs.
No. Hey, let me put it this way. I'm excising my decision as noper.
the crab's brain does not override the crab's crotch.
The crab's brain controls everything, crotch included, and it's saying, nope.
Everything objects to the crab.
Crab says, fuck you, my body.
It's my
Yeah,
bra-
that mask you wear won't work, but I've got one that you can use.
You can't even see my face. Fuck off.
So,
Now, if we're all done being juvenile, can we go on?
Oh, I'm far from done being juvenile.
Nisha, you're a cradle robber. Pride just admitted to it.
so Brandon,
Mm-hmm.
my question. The kami consented that they would bind him, but that they would not harm him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in communing with them, now, would they object if I set something in motion, so that if he attempted to break his bindings, he would be harmed?
They will not agree to that. They will agree to restrain, though.
All right. Well, in that case,
Hold on a moment. I will be right back. And I'm back. I'm back. So, what does everyone
we
do?
are simply speaking of the confinement of the man and of the veracity of his identity. Because you were asking what we were speaking about.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon, that is
Mhm.
something I am setting up. I believe that should suffice.
Okay. That works.
All right. All right. Let Aiko continue in her plan.
Oh, that was good. I was just writing that message and sending it off.
Uh,
Other than that, she just kind of sitting on her dais, meditating.
sitting on her royal duck.
Tyler, the commie sends you something interesting.
What is this?
They tell you a disturbance is happening.
Where?
Not on your property. Outside of your property.
So outside of the village?
Yeah.
Where outside of the village?
Basically the neighboring village.
What is happening?
Everyone's gone.
Now, the neighboring village being like days away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The commie tell you that they were there last night, but this morning they were not. None of the commie can remember anything that happened.
And are they new to the area? Forced out?
The people?
No, the kami. Were they the ones who are there now?
Oh,
Were the,
wide variety.
the ones previous, were they forced out?
Yes. I mean, they were not forced out.
So something happened that they could not observe.
Exactly.
Huh. I see. And Rio will see to send a letter to a relative of his, the one who oversees that area, that particular area.
Okay.
And he will thank the kami for informing him, so that they may look into it.
All right. By the way, the weather today is extreme fog.
Okay.
Very creepy, very eerie, but nothing going on with the spirits, so.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking like Silent Hill fog.
So this town is just his village is just surrounded by that thick, eerie fog.
Yep.
But inside the village itself is just fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Rio will go to Aiko. Are you enjoying festivities, Lady Aiko?
Yes, but I would like a chance to have some time to speak with your wife. It's been a while since we've seen one another since she left for your marriage.
Certainly.
Since we are related,
I'm sure Konohana would enjoy that greatly.
I didn't want to pull her from any duties that she may have, but
You said duty.
And
But it
there,
would
the maturity
catch up.
level dropped another level.
but it would be nice to catch up.
I'm sure it would be nice to catch up, Aiko. It has been a long time. As your wife is basically, bam, there.
Yep.
Evil teleporting woman!
And,
We must
and I
learn
mo-
her
and I mo-
powers.
and I motion to-
Hey,
I
hey,
motion to the
I'm the
place.
only one allowed to speak about my wife that way.
And I motioned to the place beside me for her to sit down, the place where the host and stuff would be, that little position of honor.
She kneels down and she says, Aiko, it's been too long. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I've been well. It was a bit difficult getting used to the change, but it's a good family and a good husband.
Ish.
That's always a plus when you are in a good relationship. I've seen some that wasn't so well. But he seems like a nice man. I've traveled with him for a bit.
Indeed. At first, I didn't think the marriage would work out that well, but it's gone. I'm happy here.
Yeah, it's not quite like he described it to us when we were off.
Indeed, and he has really yet to tell me much of his adventures.
He is a bad person.
I'm sure he'll get around to it. You know how things in the capital, they like to have things kept quiet.
I remember.
And when she says that what's his name? Ryu, yeah. When she says that, he looks up at Ryu and looks back at her.
She.
Ryu just nods.
And
Not suspicious at all.
and she says, so how is my aunt?
She's not been feeling well the last time I seen her.
She's dead, Jim.
She's been having trouble sleeping. I'm hoping to gather up our little group after the winter quarter's over with and see what assistance we might be able to provide.
With the mine shut down, they won't be sending any more Jade tea to her. She needs that.
Yes, that's why I'm trying to get our family to manage those mines, so that would not be an issue.
I sure hope not. This is becoming concerning.
Yes, I was concerned as well, but she does have the best staff in the land to get her through it.
Tell me, is Honji still the family alchemist?
Was that who I talked to?
No.
Do I know who that person is?
You know his name to be Tenzin. That's it.
No, the master alchemist was actually someone different this time when I visited.
She gets kind of a frown on her face, and she says,
And I tell her the name. I can't remember the name, what you said.
and she says, Tenzin? I've never heard of Tenzin. Honji's always been the family alchemist, and he was young. Where did he go? He was one of the only alchemists in the lands that knew things to cure her ailments.
And Aiko just looks at her and is real quiet. Kind of with a look of not knowing what to say. And then she finally goes, I couldn't tell you the last time I was there he was, but since we were sent out on our assignment, I don't know what has become of him.
She kind of looks a little bit worried at that. And
If it wasn't for
Tyler,
my duty.
actually both of you, since you're still there.
Yep.
Tyler, since you've been with this woman a long time, you're starting to notice something.
What's that?
She seems to be in somewhat pain.
Are you all right, Konohana?
She's like, I just, ow, what is this?
Perhaps it's best if you lay down.
Yeah.
When she does that, does she indicate any specific part of her body?
She does. She kind of grabs her side a little bit.
I look at the two of them and I look down at what they done to me earlier, and then I look back up to them.
And Rio will lead his wife away to their room.
Mm-hmm.
Kensashi,
Hmm?
would you accompany me, please?
Oh, of course. I potter on in and look around. Ah, it is a pleasure to meet you, my lady.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you too. Always glad to see Rio's friends around.
Konohana, dear,
Yes.
when did you first begin to feel this pain?
Just this morning, actually. I've been fine most of this festival.
I see.
She's a zombie. Kill her.
Does your wife have handmaidens or attendants that help her dress and bathe?
He does. And Rio will call for them.
You call for them all.
See to Konohana and see.
As they've entered, I close the door. I let him finish speaking.
Draw a bath for Konohana. I believe there is something foul here, but we'll keep this to this room.
As Kensashi notches an arrow. No.
I killed them all! Okay, the royal family and all the servants dead. Put it up! I own this land now! Okay, so, once the female attendants are in the room, I turn and I say very calmly and quietly, this room now contains the patient, 4 witnesses, who are all women and can testify to the patient's honor, and the patient's husband, all of whom can tell that the physician is acting honorably and without any effort to harm.
Yes.
And I step forward and ask her to disrobe.
She does.
Clothes, now, a body examined. I'm expecting an incision or a puncture mark, some small pinkish scar in the area of the pain.
This one's actually a bit different, and she actually almost jumps at this. There's not a scar. There's not an incision. there's a tattoo
Mm-hmm.
of a coiling snake.
Yep. Okay. So he just kind of holds out his hand and bends a knife out of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And
I try to fire Kami to start making it hot.
And Real will gather Kami of earth and water for the healing afterwards, and hold his wife's hand.
I apologized about this hurting a little bit, and I sliced the tattoo clean off. The whole that whole section of her body.
All right. Would you roll me a medicine jump?
Sure.
Actually, a medicine and sleight of hand if you want, please.
Oh, absolutely.
And if
I am definitely doing this combinational.
And if, from my part of it with Aiko, if he hears any noise coming from back around to where they took her to, she's going to signal for the music to begin playing as soon as he hears it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm spending a void on this.
And I'm just standing in place, being intimidating like usual.
And keep in mind that you did not do the character sheet change, so that's actually a 40.
I know. I actually do need to do that, John, but then I just realized that I got sent my fucking hospital bill. So I got to do that first.
And I understand completely.
Because she knows what's coming, what mess is about to go down with that.
So after the surgery takes place,
Surgery.
your wife goes, "Ugh."
And the instant that it's removed, Real will use the Kami of water that have come to him to heal her the incision.
Mm-hmm. And you
So
do
that
it.
it's painful, but it's momentary.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm paying attention more to what was inside the wound. As I sliced off the pound of flesh, was there anything left in there?
There was nothing left in there.
Okay.
However, when you cut off the skin with the tattoo,
And I cut off. I'm very generous. I don't do any shit about trying to carefully trace the tattoo.
Yeah.
The knife doesn't come anywhere near the tattoo. I give it like 3 inches berth in all directions.
Yeah, it's the tattoo is actually starting to swerve and move.
Yep. It gets tossed into the corner where it can be destroyed. And while he's busy healing, I'm casting fireball on it.
Okay.
Incinerate that shit.
You destroy the tattoo. And yes, it was shadow tainted.
I bet.
Yep.
Well, if she has that
Surprised-
taint on her, then the next step is going to be to fetch that necklace that I still haven't managed to get rid of and give her once-in-a-lifetime treatment. Return her to harmless NPC status.
Question: has she gained any taint? Brandon?
2.
All right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
So you
Yes.
put on the necklace, and because you finally put it on someone that it actually affects, you actually get to see kind of how the necklace works. You can now see that there's a Kami spirit inside the necklace.
It's a kind.
It's a Kami of purity.
Okay.
The jade necklace of pearls, or kind of pearl-like, goes pitch black for a moment. And you notice her veins kind of go black too. And it seems to just suck it right out. It goes right into the necklace glows a bit, and now the necklace is jade again.
And the Kami is purifying the jade.
Mm-hmm.
Clever. Okay.
And I would beseech the Kami of the necklace to take both and give it 4 void points to do both points.
It does. That's kind of its job.
All right.
Although what's interesting is it actually asks Kinsashi if it's okay to do that.
Yes.
It does so.
And I asked, what is the limit of your power?
I can only take so much.
Ever or at one time?
When I take the taint, unfortunately, I must take a small, small part of the soul. I can do it multiple times. However, each time the soul will be drained more and more. It is not a wise idea to use me multiple times.
It makes sense.
And I will thank Kami and let it know that it may feed if it would like.
No need. There is no need. I only have one purpose. You killed my last master. Now I serve you all. It is the way of things.
Rio will again thank the Kami as he helps his wife helps the handmaidens bring his wife to the bath to attend to her.
She tends. She seems a little bit distraught, but she's actually a lot more calm now. And she's like, "What? What's that?"
The
Nothing
fuck
here.
did you bring home, husband?
We're just like, nothing, dear. Sorry about bringing my work home.
It's like, sorry, we brought some Shadowland tainted kami into the place. My bad.
These are excellent muffins.
You are so gonna get it.
And for Aiko, she's starting to sense maybe some sort of plot against the Imperial family.
Just starting?
It's like, Will.
No, not just starting, like,
Will, I have something to say to that. No.
Tengoku will simply be quietly happy he is in no way related to the Imperial family.
Well, actually, as it turns out, Goku,
Fuck
Tengoku, you
Fuck you.
are her brothers,
Fuck you.
cousins, sisters,
you.
uncles.
Fuck you!
Cousin twice removed.
with that in
Stop trying to grab your royalty, damn it!
No!
with that in mind, the last time I was there before the Winter Court, how many people on her staff did I see that wasn't part of her staff when I was there before we started this job, this adventure?
That is a question for Tyler.
I'm sorry?
What?
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you right, Will. What did you say?
He's
Okay,
seen
when
the Imperial Court before. The Imperial Court has new members. He wants a list of how many of them are new members
okay, I'm
based
sorry.
on the recent swap around.
For whatever reason, all I heard him was staff, and I thought he said, like, Tyler's staff of, like, handmaidens. I'm sorry.
Although Tyler's supply of handmaidens is no doubt impressive, that's not the issue right now.
Not to mention they're all rank 5 ninjas. No,
Disposable handmaidens.
the royal court has indeed changed. It changes a lot. No one really of significance that you can remember at the moment, Aiko. What you do know is that it's smaller. Because 2 members of the royal court supposedly died. One of them is the guy who owned the jade mine, and then the other guy was an unknown that you did not know. So the royal court was smaller, but ironically, most of the members were pretty much the same before you left.
Except for the alchemist.
Well, that guy wasn't really a member of the royal court. He's the family alchemist.
Ah. So now you have to do a check on the ancillary staff that you didn't get a chance to review.
Well, there is a difference between the royal court and the family alchemist.
Not for the family alchemist. That's his job, man.
That's got a point.
I know, but the alchemist doesn't go to court and be like, I would like to declare that we're selling this property.
This is true. But he does walk in and say, I would like the Empress to trust me with her life and drink this.
He does, and that's very important. I'm just saying that he's not a member of the court. And yes, Heiko, he was there before you left, too. He has not changed. He has actually been there kind of since you started doing things. Back when
Okay,
it was
I was just trying to get a count of how many unknowns were now part of the court that wasn't before.
Back when Konoharu was with you, that was about a good maybe 10 years ago.
Okay. Then I guess what I'm meaning is, like, who would be new staff?
Yeah, this is not the Tyrell Corporation that doesn't have any security.
All right.
Oh, by the way, Matt,
So,
it's been 3 days, Matt. The legendary blacksmith and Mr. Harris's character have finished making your hammer.
sweet.
I would like to talk to the legendary blacksmith once he's free.
He is free now.
He never did identify my sword. I show it to him.
Which one?
My sword.
Oh, your sword. He looks at it. He says, amazing piece of work. Where did you come by this?
It was a gift.
I see. This is an old technique of infusing jade directly into the blade. I have not seen this for quite some time. Even though it is in small portions and not extremely effective, it is a technique that can be forged upon.
Explain.
Even though the jade is not enough to truly be effective of this blade, it can be added. As you can see, if you look very closely, and he gets out a very old style, almost magnifying glass, which looks really big and goofy. That's how they were back then. And he shows you that the grooves in where the jade has been inserted have more space. They are not fully full of jade. And then once they go down, when the weapon is forged, you notice that if it's heated, it looks as if though the slots may expand to add for more space. It's almost as if whoever designed this weapon intended it to be reforged.
And upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Useful.
There is one more thing I can definitely tell you about this blade. And when he said when he says this, you know, your sword is flawless. There's no chips, no nothing in it. And he says this sword has bathed in much blood.
Does that affect it?
It gives it a resonance. Sooner or later, if there is magic infused in this sword, it may develop its own kami.
I nod quietly as I am told these things.
He says there's a small indention of some kind of metal at the end of the sword that I have no idea what it is. I've never seen this kind before.
Show me.
He looks on the tip of a... I can't remember what the tip of a katana is, where the blade is at the very tip and there's that little line. I can't remember what it's called. But there's usually a much finer... when a swordsmith smooths the sword, that edge at the very end of the blade is often smoothed almost nearly 10 times to that of the other sword, of the rest of the sword. That small tip, you notice, is just slightly lighter colored than the rest of the sword, meaning it's made out of a different material. However, neither one of you can really identify this material. It does not appear any kind of steel or diamond. It does not appear to be jade or obsidian.
And you have no idea what it is, or how to find out?
He is clueless. And this is rare, because he has not failed you yet.
Yes, I've noticed that. It is good to be able to measure at least one of the limitations of his godlike knowledge.
Well, to be fair, you guys went to a legendary dojo and basically bribed him to come to the village, so yeah.
And that was Tyler, thank you.
Yes. Far be it from Matt to acquire anything of value ever. We would not want this to be put upon him. Matt's reputation for squandering resources remains completely pure.
No, I was pointing out, I actually have, like, a Koku to my name at that point.
And
I literally couldn't. Oh, quick question for you, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
It says on the description for diamond that diamond, like, literally glows.
Mm-hmm. And
Is that only the presence of shadow taint? Like, you know...
That is in the presence of shadow taint.
Okay, cool.
And your hammer is already magical, so it fucking glows.
Okay, yeah, I'm putting a sackcloth over that shit. Nope, just nope.
You have a hammer covered in crystal.
Basically.
No, it's just the head.
So, Matt, what you're saying is it's just the tip?
Yes.
Same as a special medal on my sword. We should name our, cabal of samurai just the tip.
Oh, don't worry. I've already given a name to this magical diamond sword hammer. I call it Sumashi. And if you know what that means, you get the joke.
All of a sudden, you're surrounded by Ra, Odin, and Rama. And they say, like your father before you, you have been chosen to destroy the ultimate evil. You are worthy. We give you this sword. No.
Okay, but in all seriousness, so what's up next?
Well, you die.
God damn it.
No. I just got this cool new hammer. Oh.
Wouldn't that be the case?
Be very appropriate.
In some ways, yeah.
So other than that, the tournament is now starting to begin. Anyone who wishes to sign up may.
I will sit on the sidelines and play music.
I go sign up.
I'll give it a shot, sure.
Rio is not a combatant.
Wow. A lot of noise there. Nope.
Yeah, Rio got punched by the Thunder Monk, and he didn't like that.
What I do very well. Getting punched in the face, I don't do very well with.
Nope.
To be fair, there was no shame in that.
Matt does getting punched in the face very well.
Mm-hmm. What I don't do is anything else.
Exactly.
That was a really shit roll for me.
When you
It's
have
only
nothing,
a 49.
you see, when you have nothing to hurt, you're in a great state.
John, you play Lord of the Rings backwards, and it sounds awesome. Okay, so Matt and Aiko sign up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And while the festivities of the tournament are going on, Rio has something to show to Kensashi. Once Rio's wife is resting,
I have a plan.
Kensashi, and show him below his home his place where he worships the kami. Brandon, you can decide where to begin. You want to start with the tournament?
Brandon, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
And she would change into something more appropriate for this versus what she's wearing.
Of course.
One would hope so. Kimonos are not known for their protective qualities.
All right, so the weapons that everyone will be fighting with will be symbolized with wooden weapons, but you guys still get all your same stats, except, of course, for the magical aspects. Because they will be training weapons, and all damage done with them will be considered non-lethal. So, the first match will actually be Aiko versus a crane duelist. And I'm actually not going to have you guys, I'm going to have you guys roll, and I'm just going to roll in the background here to save us a shitload of time. John, I love it. Love it. So, Ike, you are up first. The crane duelist that you are fighting is a man in his mid-30s. He appears to be somewhat medium built, his hair up in a bun, wearing a blue and white gi. He assumes the center stance and enters the Jitsu stance. Well,
I was muted. Sorry about that. I'll get in a defensive stance and use my air kata as well.
it's like, well, he is loading his gun. He's now ramming his gun. No. He's getting ready to fire. All right, so you take defensive stance. And he uses this time then to do his perception and focus. So, what's your TN right now?
43.
Holy shit. He misses.
Does he miss by enough for me to get a counterattack? 33 or less?
He does not. He didn't actually miss by that much.
Okay.
Because he used dual perception and tried to swing at you. He missed. Not enough for you to quite get a counterattack, but he missed.
Okay, so then I wouldn't have attacked back. I would have just deflected his blow then.
Mm-hmm. Wait a second. Okay, this time you really sucked. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And I will, just a second. I'm going to do 2 raises for a feint.
All right.
And counterattack.
I've completely forgotten what a feint does.
I can tell you. Let me make this roll real quick.
Very nice.
It's okay. A feint does half the amount of points that I exceed the target's TN added to the damage. Cannot exceed 5 times insight rank in damage this way.
Holy shit. Fucking A, Will. When he goes in, you go for a feint and you smash him right in the head and you knock him out cold.
All right.
By the way, out of curiosity, just to make sure I'm not leaving anyone out of the loop, Matt, have you been spending your XP and leveling up your insight? That's enough.
I think so.
What insight rank are you?
2?
Okay.
At least I think I'm doing it right. I've just been buying up skills and, yeah, pretty much that's it.
Okay. Just checking.
Get off of me, you little rats.
So yeah, Aiko, John, the fight is very, very quick. It's over in almost 4 seconds. The guy swings about as fast as a maniac. He misses. He swings again. He misses. Aiko smashes her freaking sword right over his head, the wooden sword over his head, and he just gets knocked out cold. And everyone's just like, what the fuck?
And she bows to the guy, even though he's knocked out.
Yeah, they get paramedics in on that guy.
And she just kind of steps off to let the other contestants.
All right, Matt, you're up next.
Cool.
You've been challenged, Matt.
Oh, okay.
They want to do a 2-on-1 against you.
Oh, okay. Is that legal?
If you accept.
This is going to be an honor thing if I tell him to fuck off, isn't it?
Maybe.
Alright, fine.
Alright, so you step out onto the ring, and would you roll me initiative?
Sure. Oh, wrong one. Yeah.
By the way, what stance do you enter?
Defensive, I guess.
Just
You guys
defensive?
see what these guys do?
Okay, so you're in a defensive stance.
Ugh, that was a shitty roll.
Okay, they win. What is your TM?
With the... Let me go check real quick, because I think it's something kind of ridiculous. In
Yeah,
defensive, you get what? Your defense skill plus something?
Defense skill plus air.
Alright, so for me, so that's Earth, so 5 plus defense of 3, so 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Not to mention
So
you've got
63.
Yeah, not to mention you've got the iron armor on.
Yeah, so my team is My TN is a 63 at the moment.
I thought mine was high.
Okay, so you've seen Kung Pao, right?
A long time ago?
Okay, well, there's basically a scene where there's a guy with a bow staff, and he goes up to the main bad guy, and he wails on his junk for like 5 minutes, and the guy doesn't even get hurt. That's basically what they're doing to you right now.
Alright, well, I've also got a damage reduction of 18, so...
Yeah.
So
Okay.
basically, I'm wailing on Matt's junk right now.
One guy's wailing on his junk, the other guy's wailing at his neck, and they can't hurt the guy. Now, not to mention, these are wooden swords, so none of these weapons have damage reduction, so...
With the 63, I would just walk around in normal clothes. And be like, I dare somebody to do something.
Well, no, the 63 comes from a good chunk of the armor.
Yeah,
okay.
they are whacking you, like, everywhere, and, like, nothing is hurting you.
I'm gonna let them just keep going until they tire themselves out.
Okay, so, John, this is definitely an epic moment. Go ahead and roll me a music roll. So, epic music is playing as they are whacking you.
That's a 73.
Yep.
Holy shit!
He's like the gigantic armored samurai from 47 Ronin, isn't he?
Pretty much.
By working out a quick deal with an air commie, I actually managed to create an electric Ichigenkin with amps.
There's literally one of the guys jumps up and he tries to do a horse chop on you, which is just a really, really, really hard two-handed downward swing. And he goes, he jumps up and he goes, yeah, and breaks the sword over your head. Nothing.
Okay. I'm just gonna.
He just.
I'm just waiting. I'm just watching them, waiting to see what they do.
They just step back and like looking at you like, what? Huh?
I look at them and I finally whisper, "My turn."
Go ahead. They take full defensive stances.
Oh no! Like, can I try rolling intimidation to see if I can just get them to concede right now?
You are welcome to.
I figured you was gonna pull that. I'm gonna hit them both with one hit.
So they're not intimidated to leave the ring because that would be dishonorable. They're going to stay and fight you. So they're definitely terrified, but they're not going to just quit.
but Brandon, they can't hurt me. So eventually, I'm just going to hit them.
Yep. And they kind of know it. You can see the fear in their eyes.
Okay.
In all honesty, Matt, I was hoping that would work, but these guys both critted their willpower.
So 42 to hit, 53 damage.
What are you attacking with?
The wooden thing.
Okay, the wooden hammer?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I would like to derive the attention to a man named Lozen, who is currently sitting on a nearby bench eating his rice. All of a sudden, a body smashes into his table and completely destroys his dinner.
Oops.
And then he goes, what the? And then another body destroys the wall behind him.
Double oops. I'll look over to God damn it, to Rio and go, I'll pay for that. Sorry.
And Rio will just nod. He's just sitting there watching the tournament.
I'll bow in their general direction and walk back to Guardian Ico.
There are so many mouths open right now looking at you and Aiko that it's just ridiculous. Well, the next match is supposed to be Aiko versus the guy, but the guy immediately surrenders.
And while everybody is looking, I just calmly and politely say, I welcome all challengers.
Now,
I'll look at her as she says that. I'll look back to the rest and go, I don't.
so basically, after about several hours of fights, no one wanting to challenge either of you, it's now gotten to the champions.
Cool.
The first match is going to be Matt versus the Crab Champion.
Oh, Christ.
This man stands just about your size with slightly less armor, and he is buff.
Okay, great.
He also fights with a hammer,
Cool.
except he has a nice little twist. He fights with two.
I see.
Okay, Matt, what did you say your TN was again?
Defensive 63. This is just what Brandon's been waiting for, isn't it?
Yes. He's literally been rubbing his hands together in glee, waiting for to have his gigantic NPC use you for a golf ball.
That hits?
Hopefully,
Okay, he literally cannot have that many roll dice, dude.
Oh, really?
Well, we are using the
Yeah.
10K wrap,
Remember?
so that would actually become 10K 10 plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which, would have resulted in a higher number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does that hit you?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah. I said 63. I take 3 points damage.
As he comes up and he just nails you right in the gut with the hammer.
Oh, okay.
You don't take much damage. However, would you also roll me a willpower roll?
Willpower? Okay.
Yes.
Alright. Willpower.
All right.
21.
You feel like if he had hit you just a bit lower, you may have thrown up.
Okay. So was he doing raises for that then?
He was. But he still hit you.
Okay. Yeah, alright.
So it's your turn.
Wait. How many raises did he do?
1.
Okay, then yeah, he would have hit me by 1 point. Okay, so my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
That's a hit. All right. You trade blows. He gets a little angry and grasps one hammer in 2 hands. Does that hit?
Yeah. Still roll. Ooh, there we go. Get that real quick. Come here. 60, so 63. Okay. So at the grazed wound level.
All right. You whacked you pretty good.
But I ignored 2 of that, or 3 of that, so I only take a -2, which doesn't actually affect my rolls. Alright.
All right.
Oh, motherfucker. Perform? Oh, Gensashi.
I got a 51 to make that sound awesome.
That'll still actually hit, Matt.
Oh. Okay.
He's in full attack.
45.
Okay. Look like you're starting to wear him down. You guys have traded some good hits.
Guy hits like a truck, I'll give him that. Misses.
All right. He missed. That will hit.
41.
Very nice. He's really getting worn down now.
I'm just waiting for his berserker rage to pop in. And that's a hit, definitely. Five. 60 plus 5. Okay, ouch. Now I'm hurting. Currently at crippled state, so plus 17 to his TN, I believe, is the case.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 5 plus 17 to TN. Okie dokie. Well, since I'm gonna not make it to the next one, I'm gonna see what damage I can do. So I'll unattack. And I'll also spend a void. That gives me +2, 4, 2, 2. Okay. Ugh.
That's a hit.
Oh, and 68.
Wow.
Actually, oh, sorry.
You knock him on his ass. He's not down. He has to get back up, but you knock him on his ass.
Okay. One spent so far.
Okay, and he enters his berserker rage.
Call that.
And he gets smacked on both sides of the head with a hammer each.
That's a hit. Wait, does 29 11, so let's see what I'm looking at here. Alright, I am still up actually. 150. Alright. So I have one more hit point and then I'm down. So, damage. So again, all on attack and all that, yeah. Void point.
Hit. Wow. Holy shit, Matt, you got him.
Wait, what?
You got him.
Wow, okay.
He failed his stamina check. He rolled really bad. You took him down. He basically gets to stay up and constantly roll stamina checks, and basically as long as he botches, he doesn't go down, he botched.
Sweet. I'm at 115 wounds. Ow.
You knock him out of the ring, and he goes, what? Everything's quiet.
I will give a respectful bow and limp my broken ass out of that ring to the healers.
Yeah, you are fucked up right now.
I am going to meet him at the healers.
Good job, Matt. That was fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Good job.
Holy shit.
Because if he had stayed up and hit you with one more, oh my god.
Yeah. I would have been down. Or, sorry, out. Or, just to be clear, out is when I reach the number on my out modifier, right?
Yeah, and this was all non-lethal anyway, so he could have done like 1,000 damage to you and it still wouldn't have killed you.
Okay, then, depending on how he rolled, I might have stayed up, because my down is 132, and I had 115 on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I might have gone one more round, depending.
Yeah, wow. I gave this guy an amazing ability and it did not serve him well. That was good. You can't see it. You can't see it on the thing, but you know he's got a 1 in 100 chance to fail that, and he failed that.
Jeez.
So
do I gain anything for beating the crab champion?
dude, you just beat the crab champion. Give yourself 5 honor.
Sweet.
And give yourself 2 renown.
Which one's renown? Is that status or glory?
I'm sorry, glory. What am I saying? Saying renown. Yeah, you're now an Arun werewolf. Congratulations, Matt. So you heal 37 points, Matt, from Kinsashi.
Okay.
The rest kind of has to be done with rest.
I thought there were other healers. I can keep healing him.
Oh, well,
There are healers.
That's what I would do in 2 spells. If there's 2 other people there, if there's one fucking Shugenja who's the healer, and me and Ryu both met him there, we're like, good job, patting him on the shoulders, he'd be healed in fucking 6 seconds.
okay.
Yeah, because we don't need to have this be an opportunity for the protector to be out of it.
Everyone together gets Matt back up to health. It hurts. Your joints are kind of popping here and there, Matt, but you heal back to full.
Yay. Thank you.
Now here's the fun stuff. Ike, it's you versus the Crane champion.
Okay. When we first get in there to square off, is it a guy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Okay. I bow to her and I say, thank you for allowing me to test my skill against yours.
The pleasure is all mine.
And then taking the same stances that I did before, and I'm spending a void point to add 10 to my TN.
Okay. All right, this is going to be interesting then. So you don't attack her?
No, I'm in my defensive stance.
She
And
spends...
my air kata,
She
and I am...
spends... Okay, this is a much more interesting duel than the other ones, and to anyone who's watching. She doesn't draw the wooden sword. She doesn't strike for almost 15 minutes. She's just standing there looking at you.
Wait,
And I don't know if that has anything, like the regular Iaijutsu has anything to do with like honor or glory type stats, but I have stuff that makes my stats seem higher than what they are if somebody's doing something that can try to detect what my honor and stat level and stuff is.
Mm-hmm. So, this is going to be a slightly different contest here. Aiko, would you roll me your reflexes plus your air rating, and I want you to spend a void on this.
Okay. Reflexes plus air rating. How would I put that into roll?
Actually, shoot. Actually, go ahead and just roll me your Counter-Strike attack plus air rating. In other words, that would add merely to the dice you keep. Not the dice you keep, but the dice you roll.
So I add air to the attack dice?
Yes.
Okay.
Very nice. And
just before you play out the scene, I have a specific thing I want to do if I am able to hit her.
okay. Well, and then go ahead and also roll me a flat reflexes.
Okay.
Oh, not bad. So if you are going to hit her, what are you going to do?
I am going to aim for basically a headshot, but I'm going to pull it to where it's known that I could have hit her, but I chose not to. Kind of like that last second stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because my whole intention is this is only going to be one round, and then I'm going to, whoever wins in that one hit, then I'm going to continue from there to basically end it. But I'll play that out.
Everyone who's watching sees this happen in such a quick instant that almost none of you catch it. However, is there anyone with a perception score of 4 or higher?
Nope.
That depends on whether or not I'm able to do it using my technique.
For purposes of this, John, I'll say you can. Since you've got concentration and you're able to focus and you're able to clearly will this.
But since that is the Crane champion, and I'm not actually going to hit her, I just want to be able to try to prove that I could if I wanted to, kind of thing. That is if I don't get my ass beat.
John, are you going to do a roll?
Oh, okay. I thought you asked if we had the stat, and I said, do I count? I did not realize that you wanted me to do a perception roll, so.
Because if your perception is above 4, is 4 or higher, you get to actually even attempt to see this.
What roll am I making?
A flat perception.
That's no good. That's...
Actually, I'm sorry, you can do an investigation on this.
All right, that would make more sense.
Because technically you can, since you're focusing on it.
That plus 9.
All right.
35.
So, John, you can see this somewhat clearly, but it's still very hard to see. In one instant, the Crane champion draws her sword and swings. In the next instant, you see Aiki swing down and almost come to the Crane champion's head. This is where things get really weird. In mid-swing, you see the Crane champion switch hands with the sword, step forward, and this is all within points of a second, swings upward, breaks straight through Aiki's wooden sword, and has the sword tilted and resting right against Ike's neck. All within under a second. And now they are left standing with the Crane champion with her sword to your neck. And Ike, although you are in a decent position, your wooden sword is broken, although if you really wanted to, you could probably just slightly push downward and jab the splinters into her neck. But I think it's clear that she has a slight advantage on you right now.
Okay, and I withdraw the weapon, and I give her a bow. And I tell her once again, thank you for allowing me to test my skills against you.
She kind of feels her neck up a bit, and she says, very well done. If you ever want a lesson, I will be glad to teach. And she bows to you. Gain 1 honor, gain 1 rank, gain 1 glory.
Okay.
And John, gain 1 glory just because you're playing the instrument so badass.
Are these still decimal points? I just didn't know for
Yes.
this situation.
Yes.
Okay.
There are always decimal points unless I say otherwise.
Okay.
That last fight was pretty spectacular.
Now, to help everyone else understand what happened as it happened, was I able to play along to that dramatic moment?
Yes. It was very quick, though. It would have to be very short notes.
So it would simply be one perfect strike that I vibrated the string to correctly.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Dwang.
And then she would step off and watch the rest of the tournament continue.
The rest of the fights are pretty spectacular. The duels of the champions. In the end, it's almost unbelievable how these people have reached the status that they have. But in the end, due to the fact that it's in the ring, and it's usually a matter of speed, in the end, the Crane champion is the final victor of the tournament. Although the champion of Lions, she is definitely angered, but she will definitely is a good sport about it, but she has challenged the Crane again, and they do a little bit more sparring after the tournament is over because the Lion always likes to prove a point.
Do I get any trouble from the crab?
Say what?
I'm not in any trouble with the crab, am I? Because
No.
technically I'm considered a Ronin by them at the moment.
No, he was not, like, he was impressed. No one's ever knocked him on his ass.
When did you become a Ronin?
I'm technically on a spiritual journey. That's my character's backstory.
Yep, he also wishes you luck on your journey.
Okay. And by the laws, that technically makes someone a Ronin, but the difference is when I'm done, I'm accepted back, and it's generally viewed favorably by the Ronin, the sensei, or goddammit, the samurai's master, as a sign of attempting to better themselves.
Hmm. I'm sorry, John, but I have to inform you that Honesty Schultz has stolen your Ichigenkin.
Damn it!
He says, sorry, sucker, I'm going to play it now. No.
And then after the tournament's over with, Aiko will go back and get into her more formal attire and go back to where she's been sitting the whole time.
Yeah, that day, that performance, this was something that people will remember for generations. I try and emphasize how, not only how epic the duel between the crabs was, but also how fast that duel between Aiko and the crane was. Two separate duels of great spectacular. One a test of endurance of two men pummeling the shit out of each other until one finally broke, and the other over under a second.
Yeah, you really should not have stood. You really should not have stood there for 15 minutes letting
That's
her
what I
build.
was going to say. Other than the 15 minutes of her getting her focus.
Yeah, which honestly, you should have gotten that too.
Well, more importantly, you could just leave it lying. Yes, the crane champion, who was the ultimate master of the whole affair, beat you, but it took her 15 minutes to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of the point. That's why I was like, okay.
Well, one thing that's great about her thing is that she can stand there and just fucking load dice on just by perception.
Well, that's what I knew, but
Yeah, you don't even want to know how much.
The goal wasn't to beat her. The goal was to show that.
Yeah, you did a pretty decent job on your roll, so I was a little nice to you. But she was rolling like almost 100 dice for that. Well,
Yeah,
not 100 dice, but like you get 10k, 10 over, 100.
The goal wasn't to, oh yeah, I can beat her down. The goal was that my style can hold its own against the best.
You did prove that.
And that was really all I was trying to do. That's the only reason I even competed in it.
I'm back. So aside from fights like that, anything else we got going on, or are we just kind of chilling for the time being?
Well, after the tournament is over and everyone's kind of declared and the festivities go back,
Zoom is always looking overhead.
it goes back to the tea ceremonies. And everyone kind of chit-chatting and everything.
Oh, I'd like to perform a tea ceremony.
Okay.
Quietly, Tengoku's just like, should have stuck with getting my guts beaten out.
Yeah, John, you guys have gotten to the point where, like, yeah.
$58.
You're a boss. You fucking juggle the tea things and pour tea as they're juggling, man. And then, like, everything lands, and then the tea, like, lands in all of the bowls and whatnot after they all land.
Just like, I am the best tea maker ever.
I'm here to make tea and kick ass. And I'm all out of tea.
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, so tea ceremonies, all that. What else?
Well, Kinsashi and Aiko, I have something to show you.
I don't know what the hell just happened there. My Skype just cut off and went back to the whole screen to make me want to relog in.
Well, Ryu has asked you and Kinsashi for a moment.
He can have the moment he wants.
Yeah. And he would lead you through his home. to a set of stairs that leads below his home to what appears to be a naturally formed cavern below his home. There is a piece of crystal mounted in the ceiling with water trickling down, and you see the bowl for the jade tea. A small flame heating the water of the tea as it flows into 4 altars, one to each of the elements. And in the middle of it, you can see the sword that Kensashi had hid in the foundation of Ryo's home. It's steeped in the tea. You required a very interesting thing. It was heavily tainted before I began my work. Where did you come across this blade?
You may recall that while you were otherwise occupied, we took care of a minor incursion on the border that was attempting to disrupt your kami defenses.
Yeah.
This is where we acquired the ancient ninja corpse. This is where we fought the Red Samurai, who was greatly tainted. Owl my back courageously stole this sword from his scabbard to render him less able to fight us, and was burned greatly by the shadow taint that was on the sword. After the fight, when he had fled, and we had killed his ancient ninja corpses and disrupted his ritual, we retrieved the sword, and I locked it into the prison that you found it in.
I see. I have since managed to cleanse this blade.
Be aware.
Thanks.
After that battle, he contacted me in my meditations. He noted that we had prevented the sword from returning to him. I must presume that it has some degree of enchantment that would actually cause it to move itself.
It does. If it leaves this place, it would do much on its own.
Yes.
But currently, I am working to break it, that enchantment.
I may be able to help.
Certainly.
I am preparing an engine, and I just leave without explaining another word. Brandon, let me know when that smithing work is done.
It'll take 48 hours.
Good. Then during that time, I'm going to begin composing a song, and I'm going to be working with the kami to do this.
All right.
And since Aiko's still down there with Ryu, she would go, what is your character's wife's name again?
Konohana.
She would go, so how is Konohana feeling?
Tired and despondent from what happened, but with some rest, I believe she'll be all right.
It's good we found that when we did.
Just she's already been infected with the taint of it when we had found it, but the purity of the kami, we were able to remove it before it set roots.
Well, it's good. It is good that you were on good terms with them then.
Thank you.
If you're not otherwise engaged, we can go out here and enjoy the festivities.
Certainly.
And he would have that same seat beside her since it's his place.
And Rio will join the festivities.
Indeed. Everything is going quite well. A lot of more people talking, whatnot, da-da-da-da. This will actually continue. Okay, John, go ahead and make me that roll with all void points spent.
Shit, John's doing something.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 2 days of just kind of F around time, because 48 hours, because something's going to happen here.
Coincidentally, around the same time that smithing work is done.
Yep.
Not coincidentally, by careful clockwork design.
Fair enough.
There's nothing coincidental about my Machiavellian schemes, Matt.
This is fair enough.
So, John, would you tell them what you're doing?
I'm composing a song.
Mm-hmm.
For 47 hours, I sit in my room playing the Ichigenkin and composing a song. As you listen, it is both simple and complex. It is a single note that resonates through a complex harmony. And again, it is reworked and reworked and reworked and reworked until people become so used to that one simple harmony playing that they can never tell where in the song I am. It's just a continuous, endless loop of making a perfect, harmonious, 7-note song that revolves around itself endlessly around my room. And it makes anybody who sits there listening to it say, what?
Are you attempting to make hypnotism?
No, it's way worse than hypnotism, Matt. It causes anyone who sits there listening to it to start feeling like they are drifting out of their body, though.
Oh, good.
This is what happens when Shugenjas start working.
Now, I'm only allowed to spend 1 void on a roll like this, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am dumping all the void that I can get in 47 hours, and you know how much that is.
Well, go ahead and give me 3 more rolls.
Brian, are you making something scary?
Probably.
Oh, he just did.
Although, honestly, those are crap rolls for what I was doing. I was scoring 75s earlier with this shit.
John, while listening to your own song, because let's face it, that kind of happens.
Yeah.
You have gone into a deep meditation.
Yeah, I bet.
You're back on the mountainside.
There's my meditation.
You're sitting in a vast field with the classic cherry tree near you, with the pond and where you trained.
I absorb the ambiance.
You see the old man sitting before you. I find it... Can I ask you a question, pupil?
Of course not.
Why do you humans kill each other so much when you have such beautiful music?
I think it is because not everyone can hear it.
Hmm.
God damn it.
I have lived among humans so long, sometimes I wonder if they will ever hear it.
I will continue trying.
Hmm. And he says, well, perhaps I should definitely shed this form then. John, he transforms.
He was a dragon, wasn't he?
Not just any dragon. The land around you goes dark, and you can barely see anything except for the gargantuan form in front of you, as the Void Dragon looks down upon you.
Oh, that's good.
John, gain 1 permanent void for simply being in his presence.
Awesome.
He says, "You are worthy. When all of this conflict is decided, and you have faced the evil that you will face, come see me again. I will need aid in the realm of void, and you are worthy." And you are thrown back into your body so hard you fall down and smack against the wall.
Okay. I didn't get a chance to ask him if there was any chance I could get a bottle of universe juice while I was communing with him, but I'm going to wave the blue smoke away from my eyeballs. I'm sure there's some coming out, and return to my meditations and complete the song.
You do.
And part of the point of this was I wanted to ask the Void Kami if they would allow this to be a spell scroll. What I want is to have the Void actually infused into the spell when it is played in that cavern, as discussed in the note that I sent you.
Mm-hmm. They agree.
Cool. It would be a damn shame if communing with a deity got in the way of me making my spell.
No. Actually, in that whole conversation you were talking to him, not even 1 second went by.
Good. Because that was awesome and all, and I'm totally not against, gigantic free stat boost, but it'd be like, you're sitting there trying to craft your level 1 spell, and Macabre keeps showing up and praising you, and you're like, God damn it, pesky gods, get away from me, I'm just trying to make my spell here.
Not to mention, I would also like to point something out.
Yes.
Besides John, each and every person gains 1 relation to their clan. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
due to the intense battle that you just received, gain +1 stamina, +1 strength.
Whoa.
Tyler,
You.
gain +1 intelligence, gain +1 void.
Okay.
John, gain +1 intelligence, gain +1 stamina.
Wow.
And Ike,
Yeah.
gain +1 void, gain +1 reflexes, and gain +2 honor.
1 void, 1 reflexes, and 2 honor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As each and every one of you has a tattoo on their neck. John of the Dragon, Tyler of the Phoenix, Ike of the Royal Family Seal, and Matt of the Crab.
Oh, okay. When did I get this tattoo?
Blossom.
Just now. It literally burned onto you. The Kami,
Right,
So
so you-
magically evolving like Pokemon.
the Kami actually put it there, John.
I prefer my version.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the Pokemon magic as well.
Okay, well, fine. I'll throw a Pokeball at you guys. I throw a Pokeball at you. Your character can't resist. You're captured. Suck it.
Bullshit. Pokemon could always resist capture.
Now I mash B. Suck it.
Fuck you. You only have one Master Ball. You only get one.
Bitch, I got the multiply cheat. I got 99999 Master Balls, motherfucker.
Oh, you're a cheating whore, are you?
He's the GM.
Suck my Master Balls.
That just got creepy.
So yeah, and that's where we end the session for tonight.
Cool.
Okay.
The Kami are getting so infused by you guys that they are giving you free stuff.
And we're not going to stop.
Well, the thing is, I rolled earlier to see if the Kami would give you anything. I rolled a D100. On a 1, they start to get hostile toward you. On a 100, they give you free stuff. Anything else, nothing. You rolled a 100. Congratulations, guys.
Happy
Hey,
to.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Since I beat the Crab Champion, does that make me the new Crab Champion?
Well, technically, you got to do it in an official duel of champions. This was just a tournament of skill. Well, this was just a tournament
this
of
was
skill.
just sparring at the Winter Festival.
Yeah.
Matt, if this was an official combat against the Crab Champion, he'd actually be, holding his real weapons.
So would I.
Yeah, but his real weapons would probably cut your iron armor into ribbons.
Possibly.
Alas, the final blow bent my helmet, so I can't remove it.
I barely do anyway.
Question, Brandon.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to let me complete the masterwork that I'm doing this session, or save that for next week?
No, you can go ahead and complete that.
Okay. When the song is composed and the Kami have agreed and everything is ready, I call Ryu, or send a servant to notify Ryu that I'm heading down to the cavern. I then head over to the blacksmith, giving Ryu plenty of time to get there ahead of me so I'm not violating his space like a girly man. I collect the sword from the blacksmith and return to the cavern.
Mm-hmm.
There,
Would be there.
presuming that he allows all of this, I proceed down to the crystal jade tea altar, and I draw the sword hidden inside of my Ichigenkin, which is itself now an Ichigenkin. I wait a moment for the MC Escher-esque, feeling of this to wash over him. When it fails to, I get disappointed. And then I place the Nodaichi unsheathed across the stream of water directly over the other sword, and I begin playing the Song of Void onto it.
Clever. Okay. So, I need to type you an effect, John.
And there is my performance and my casting. $68.79.
Jesus.
Damn, a 37. When 10s explode, they explode.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler?
Yep.
He just cut your work in half.
All right.
It will now merely take a week. And it's already been a few days, so you've got, 3 days left.
Okay.
And I need to check
Recording stopping now.